In this video, we're going to download and install Filebase so that we can complete another free coding challenge directly inside of Unity. Filebase has over 100 unique coding challenges with new ones added all the time. You'll find over a dozen free ones available, so let's head to filebase.gamedevhq.com, click the download button, and import into Unity. So before we download our coding challenge, I have something exciting to announce. We have our first sponsor. BenQ sent me a screen bar plus because they know you and I are spending thousands of hours each year in front of our screens, and that can't be good for us. So they came up with this brilliant design that allows me to control the lighting under my monitor, and I have to say, it's really nice. Check the link in the description to pick one up yourself. I've been using this now for about 3 weeks, and I really think it's making a difference from an eye strain perspective. For those who have access to a Filebase subscription, we will be randomly selecting a winner on October 1st, 2020, and you'll be receiving your own BenQ screen bar from us. Thanks again, BenQ, for sponsoring this video. With Filebase installed, you'll see a monkey icon at the top here. I'm going to select that and open it. Alternatively, you can use the tilde key to launch Filebase automatically. All right, that is our hotkey for the program. Use the tilde. Now, while that's opening here, Filebase, you get access to over 5,000 plus growing game assets, but here in the star icon are the over a dozen free coding challenges, and then you can get into pro only. To unlock these challenges, you do need to sign in, but if you're a free user, you can just download Filebase, and let's go ahead here and download the next challenge. So in video 1, we covered the ASL challenge. We're going to be doing the level selector in this one. So let's download it. It will import into Unity, click import, and then launch the program. Once it's launched, we can close Filebase and begin to tackle this challenge. I'm just going to, so here in the inspector here, you'll see here that we are going to create a program that lets you select an easy, medium, or hard difficulty through the inspector. When you hit the space key, it's going to print out the selected difficulty. Now, the whole purpose of these coding challenges is that it's designed to test your logical problem-solving skill set. There are more than one way to solve a problem, and how you solve this might be different than how I solve it, how someone else solves it. There's never a wrong solution. There is only more optimal and efficient solutions. So let's take a look at how we would go about solving this as a brute force implementation, and if there's an optimization opportunity in route, we'll use it. So check this out. We're going to create a program that lets you select easy, medium, and hard from the inspector. Right off the bat, the program has no idea what easy, medium, or hard is. These are concepts that you as a programmer have to define. So here we can associate that easy, medium, or hard is a concept in our game associated by an index. That would be the easiest way to check this, but it could be a string as well. So here we're going to create a new folder to store our scripts. And then inside of here, we'll create a C# script, and we're going to call this level select. And we'll attach this to our main camera. On the main camera, the instructions say that we are to use the inspector to determine what level we're going to select. So we have 3 options available. So here we're going to say 0 is equal to easy, 1 is equal to medium, and 2 is going to be equal to hard. So from here, I'm basically then going to say, okay, we have to define those difficulties. So here we'll say private int, we'll call this easy, and private int medium. So we're defining the difficulties, and private int hard. Now that I've defined the difficulties, what about the one I'm going to select? These are what's available, but what about selecting? And I'm going to set easy equal to 0, medium to 1, and hard to 2. So now that I have my easy, medium, and hard values here, we now need to declare what does it mean for us to pick a level difficulty. So here we're going to create a new int for my selected difficulty. And that's going to be based on what I'm going to choose. So here in the inspector, we serialize this. And let's head on over to Unity. And you'll see here that I have a selected difficulty. 0 is easy, 1 is medium, and 2 is hard. And here it says when I hit the space key, it's going to print out the selected difficulty. And it's going to say, you selected easy. You should be able to change the difficulty at runtime. So here, all we have to do is add that logic. So here's my selected difficulty, which is assigned via the inspector. And then here, we're just going to check for if space key. And again, we're just going to print, print difficulty. So here we'll declare our if statement checking for the space key. So get key down, and I want the keycode.space. And then from here, I'm just going to say, okay, I hit the space key. What's my difficulty? Well, we're going to go ahead and print out that sentence. So debug.log, we can use the new syntax sugar for C# 6.0 with the $sign. And I'm going to say you selected, and then the difficulty level. So here, this is going to be my selected difficulty. Now here, it's not going to actually print out the words easy or hard or medium. So we need to figure out how to do that. But we can run this application and make sure this works. Let's hop into Unity, let it compile. And you'll see here that when I hit the space key, inside of our console, you selected 2. And if I change it to a 1, then I selected 1. So how do we go about actually reading this data and understanding it? Well, what we can do is when I hit the space key, we can identify what does this value mean. I'm passing in a 0, 1, or 2. So we know what those values mean. So we could actually operate on a switch statement, or you could actually check if the value is 0. If my selected difficulty is equal to what? 0, what does that mean? Well, that means that, hey, you have a debug.log here, and it's going to say my selected difficulty is actually going to say easy, right? You could do that. And then here we could simply duplicate this. Now, you guys are already detecting, well, you could have done this using a switch statement, and you're absolutely right, and we'll take a look at that. So here, if my selected difficulty is equal to 1, then we change the message to medium, right? And then else statement would be, hey, if it's not one of those, then invalid selection, right? So let's just go ahead here, let's save this and test it out. So let it compile, let's run it. I hit the space key, and nothing happens because we don't have one for 2. But if I hit 1, hit the space key, you'll see here you selected medium. If I hit 0, then the space key, you selected easy. So how do we make this better? I don't want to have multiple if statements here. We could use a switch. So here I could have a switch statement passing through the difficulty level. And what happens if it's a 0, right? So case, once again here, case 0. And let me see what happened there with my syntax. All right, and then here we might have something like, hey, case 0 is this is easy. And we're just going to say debug.log, right? Say you selected easy. All right, and then we need the break keyword when using a switch statement. So if you're new to these concepts, the if statements, switch statements, you can check out the C# survival guide on Game Dev HQ, or you can check out our YouTube playlist on programming. So here we have our easy, followed by case 1, and that's going to be our medium, followed by case 2, which is our hard. And then here we can have a default case, which means if it's none of those, it's not 0, 1, or 2, then default equals invalid selection. And we'll take a look at how we can optimize this log that we're making here. So check this out. If my case is 0, I'm going to print off easy. And if my case is medium, and then we'll break the keyword. And then here, if it's hard, we're going to print that, and then of course followed by a break. All right, and then here we have our default case. So here's the default. If it's neither of those values, then we're just going to print out you selected, please select again. All right, and of course we need to break there as well. All right, so in this implementation here, we have a switch statement defining these. And if I added a new level of difficulty, like super hard, I would just create a new case, right? Now, the problem with this approach is that I'm reusing my debug.log over and over again, and I don't really need to do that. You'll see here, if I run this, I hit the space key, you selected easy, I select 1, medium, and actually they're all printing out because I didn't change that. So, and that's part of the problem, right? Is that I'm hard coding this easy, medium, and hard stuff. So if I change that to medium, and what we can actually do is we can create a generic string that defines what it is, and then we can create one debug.log method to optimize this. So here you selected hard, and if I go to 3, it should say, please select again. 1 is going to be medium. There you go. So now it's working. Now let's take a look at how we could further optimize this. I constantly recognize that, hey, based on the case that it is, I'm basically hard coding in the message of easy, medium, or hard. I'm creating what's called an immutable string. It can't be changed. It's bad practice to do that. So one of the things we can do here is we can actually say, okay, you hit the space key. I'm going to define right here, I'm going to define what does it mean for us to do that. I'm basically just going to say, hey, var message, or var will say var level text, and that's going to equal a blank message. So here, if you selected easy, we're just going to say, hey, the level text is equal to easy. So we're storing this in a variable that can now change. They're called variables because they vary. And then inside of here, we have our level text equals medium. And we have level text equals hard. So once we have that, then here, please select again, that can actually stay. And then for these guys here, what we're going to do is after we handle these operations, and we're going to set the, if you get into this case here, then we will go ahead and say that your level text is equal to empty so that we don't actually place it. All right, so please select again, it's going to get printed. And then all we have to do now is at the very end of our switch statement, we're essentially going to have one debug.log, and it's going to say you selected the easy, medium, or hard difficulty. So here you selected the, put the $ in front, and we'll place our variable here for level text. So you selected the current level, so easy, medium, or hard. You selected the, and we can call this difficulty. All right, there we go. We can save that, test it out. If I look at our main camera, we're currently on hard. And there you go, you selected the hard difficulty, change it to 0, and you selected the easy difficulty. So that wraps up how to complete this challenge. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. If you want to see more coding challenge videos, make sure to like and subscribe and write a comment letting me know you want to see more of these solution videos. If you want to download Filebase and complete these challenges on your own, head on over to gamedevhq.com. Open Filebase, there's over a dozen free ones available. And if you want to unlock the over 100 unique coding challenges, access to our mastermind community, all of our courses, and of course, 5,000 plus game ready assets, join Filebase today. Thanks guys, see you next time.